Hi everyone, I would like to welcome you back to our special study, Sealing of the 144,000, Part 5. But before going onwards, let us ask the presence of the Lord through a special prayer. Gracious, loving Father who art in heaven, we come unto you to thank you for the special privilege you had given to us to study your word. Help us to present it with clarity and power, and bless also the listener that they may be able to find happiness and find understanding through thy spoken word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today we will be discussing the finishing of the sealing work. As far as we know, the Seventh-day Adventist Church was commissioned by the Lord to proclaim the last message of mercy to this fallen world. They were commissioned to preach the third angel message. Let us read Christian Service 145, paragraph 2. Let every Seventh-day Adventist ask himself, what can I do to proclaim the third angel's message? Christ came to this world to give this message to his servant, to give to the churches. It is to be proclaimed to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. But it is really very sad as the years pass by, the church did not follow, did not obey her greatest commission. And it is recorded in the book Australian Union Conference Record, June 1, 1900, paragraph 20. Let us read. We are in danger of giving the message in so indefinite a manner that it does not impress the people. So many other interests are brought in, that the very message which should be proclaimed with power become tame and voiceless. While the churches profess to believe in Christ, they are violating the law which Christ himself proclaimed from Sinai. We can understand here that the church is becoming tame and voiceless in their presentation of the message. Why it become voiceless? It cannot cry aloud. It cannot tell the sin of the people, even to its membership. Why? Because its members are violating the law which Christ himself proclaimed from Sinai. Ang great controversy po sa 458 ay nagsasabi, it was not the will of God that Israel should wander for 40 years in the wilderness. He desired to lead them directly to the land of Canaan and establish them there a holy, happy people. But they could not enter in because of unbelief. Because of their backsliding and apostasy, they perished in the desert, and others were raised up to enter the promised land. Alam po natin na sa lahat ng mga Israelitas na umalis sa Ehipto, dalawa lang ang nakapasok sa Canaan. Sila lang po si Caleb at saka si Joshua. All the rest died in the wilderness. Pero sino po ang nakapasok sa promised land? The descendants of these people. Others were raised up to enter the promised land. What about those people, the modern Israelites that was commissioned by God to preach the gospel, to prepare the people to enter the modern Canaan? Ano po nangyari sa kanila? Let us read the same book, Great Controversy, 458. In like manner, it was not the will of God that the coming of Christ should be so long delayed. and his people should remain so many years in this world of sin and sorrow. But unbelief separated them from God, as they refused to do the work which he had appointed them. Others were raised up to proclaim the message and mercy to the world. Jesus delays his coming, that sinners may have an opportunity to hear the warning and find in him a shelter before the wrath of God shall be poured out. Ibig sabihin na ang bayang Adventista, sila po ang sinugo to proclaim the last message of mercy. Pero ano pong nangyari? Unbelief separated them from God, and they refused to do the work which he appointed them. So anong nangyari ngayon? Others were raised up to proclaim the message. At na-delay yung pagbalik ng Panginoong Hesus dahil po sa kanyang mercy sa sanglibutan. So that sinners may find opportunity to hear the warning and may find refuge to the coming wrath of God. To understand it clearly, ito po ang ating diagram. From Egypt, ang rumbo po ay ano po? Canaan. Ang original ng mga Israelitas ay hindi nakapasok sa Canaan dahil po sa apostasy. Within 40 years, they wander in the wilderness. Ang nakapasok lang po sa Canaan ay yung mga descendants sa mga original ng mga Israelites. Only two of them, Joshua, and Caleb entered the promised land. Parallel sa nangyari sa ancient Israel to the modern Israel. Sino po itong modern Israel? Seventh-day Adventists. They were commissioned by God to preach the third angel's message. Pero ano nangyari? Because of apostasy, they departed from God. They did not obey their commission. So, ano nangyari? Others were raised up. At dahil po sa mercy ng Panginoon sa sanglibutan, Jesus delayed his coming upang ang mga tao will receive the final warning before the seven last plagues will come. And who will give the warning? It is not the original Seventh-day Adventist. Others were raised up. Sino kaya itong others? Let us read. Ayon po sa isang talata ng Volume 5, Testimonies for the Church, 136. Now is the time when we should closely connect with God, that we may be hid when the fierceness of his wrath is poured upon the sons of men. We have wandered away from the old landmark. Let us return. If the Lord be God, serve him. If Baal, serve him. Which side will you be on? Ibig sabihin na ang bayang Adventista, sila po ay umalis sa old landmark of truth. At sila po ay pumunta sa Pumunta sa Ehipto, sa sanglibutan. At before the wrath of God will be poured out to the sons of men, ang panawagan ni Ginang Ellen G. White ay, let us return. Anong ibig sabihin, let us return? Doon po sa old landmark. Ano yung old landmark? Yun ang lumang doktrina ng Seventh-day Adventist. Pag kayo po'y bumalik doon, pag ang simbahan pupunta sa sanglibutan, pag kayo'y umalis doon, anong ibig sabihin? You should go out from the mother church. At ano po mangyari? Testimonies to Ministers, 411. Sino yung others? Sino yung mga taong umalis doon? Bumalik doon po sa old landmark. Mabasa natin dito, Testimonies to Ministers, 411. But there is a people who will bear the ark of God. Some will go out from among us who will bear the ark no longer. But these cannot make walls to obstruct the truth, for it will go onward and upward to the end. In the past, God has raised up men, and He still has men of opportunity waiting, prepared to do His bidding. Men who will go through restrictions, which all are only as walls daubed with untempered mortar. May mga tao na tawagin ng Panginoon, ito pong others that will be raised up. Ang katangian nila po ay they will bear the ark of God. Others will stop bringing the ark any longer. Anong ibig sabihin sa arka? Dati-rati ang arka napalooban po ng 10 Commandments. Ibig sabihin pala, once you stop bearing the ark, it means you stop obeying the laws of God. Noong unang panahon, at bawat panahon, ang Panginoon ay may mga tao. And this kind of men are men of opportunity. They are waiting only to be called in. They are prepared to do His bidding. And they will go through even in the midst of restrictions. Ano pa ang katangian nila? Selected Message Book 3, 421, 422. The Lord will give His message to those who have walked in accordance with the light they have had, and will recognize them as true and faithful according to the measure of God. These men will take the place of those who, having light and knowledge, have walked not in the way of the Lord, but in the imagination of their own unsanctified hearts. Ibig sabihin na may mga tao ang Panginoon that will work and walk in accordance to the light they receive. At ang Panginoon po will recognize them as true and faithful people, His faithful people, according to the measurements of God. At ano pong gawin nila? Selected Messages, Book 3, 421 and 422. When God puts His Spirit upon men, they will work. They will proclaim the word of the Lord. They will lift up their voice like a trumpet. The truth will not be diminished or lose its power in their hands. They will show the people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. Kaya ang katangian sa mga taong should be raised up by the Lord to proclaim the last message, sabi dito, they will lift up their voice like a trumpet. They are not afraid to tell what is sin. And the truth will not diminish in their hands. Ibig sabihin, ma-preserve yung katotohanan sa kanilang mga kamay. So ito pong final remnant church. Ito pong others who will be raised up. Sino po kaya sila? Meron bang vision si Ellen G. White of the coming of these people? Testimonies to Ministers 515. I had been deeply impressed by scenes that have recently passed before me in the night season. There seemed to be a great movement, a work of revival going forward in many places. Our people were moving into line. Ito po mga tao that will be raised up, sila po ay magsasagawa ng great reformatory movement, a work of revival. Kaya mangyari, sila na po ang mag-proclaim the last message of mercy. Sila na po ang representante sa third angel's message work. At itong iglesia na ito, the final remnant church, the Reformation Church, will be purified in order to receive the seal of God and the latter rain. Saan po natin mababasa? Testimonies for the Church, 187. God leads His people on step by step. He brings them to different points calculated to manifest what is in the heart. Some endure at one point, but fall off at the next. At every advanced point, the heart is tested and tried a little closer. God will bring His work closer and closer to test and prove every one of His people. Some are willing to receive 1 point, but when God brings them to another testing point, they shrink from it and stand back because they find that it strikes directly at some cherished idol. Those who come up to every point and stand every test and overcome, be the price what it may, have heeded the counsel of the true witness, and they will receive the latter rain and thus be fitted for translation. Kaya dito, makikita natin na ang Panginoon will prove us point by point. At hindi lang isang point, all points of the doctrine. What about trials and testing? Sabi dito, every test ibigay ng Panginoon. At hindi lang one test, all tests. And those who will overcome every point and stand every test and overcome, what will happen? They will receive that latter rain promised and will be fitted for translation. Christian Experience and Teaching 176. My attention was then turned to the company I had seen, who were mightily shaken. I was shown those whom I had before seen weeping and praying in agony of spirit. The company of guardian angels around them had been doubled, and they were clothed with an armor from their head to their feet. They moved in exact order like a company of soldiers. Their countenances expressed the severe conflict which they had endured, the agonizing struggle they had passed through. They had obtained the victory, and it called forth from them the deepest gratitude and holy sacred joy. Dito po makikita natin na ang final remnant church, the Reformation Church, will be mightily shaken. At ang maganda, yung ma-shake out shall be shaken out. Ang matira, yung matibay. At yung natira, anong gawin sa angel? The company of guardian angels will come around them, and their numbers are doubled to protect them. At sila po'y magkakaroon ng damit with the armor from the head to the feet. And they move in exact order like a company of soldiers. Sino po ba ang ma-shaken out? Bakit po dapat ma-shaken out? Ang sagot po, upang ma-purify ang iglesia. Pero sino kaya ang ma-shaken out? Christian Experience and Teaching of Ellen G. White 176, paragraph 3. The numbers of this company had listened. Some had been shaken out and left by the way, the careless and indifferent, who did not join with those who prized victory and salvation enough to perseveringly plead and agonize for it, did not obtain it, and they were left behind in darkness. Kaya po ang ma-shaken out yung dalawang grupo. Una, the careless. Ano yung careless? Yung mga tao nakaalam na po sa doktrina, but they don't bother to understand. They don't bother to practice the light they receive. Ano ibig sabihin ng indifferent? Mga tao na believe sa sarili. Ayaw nilang makikinig sa mga counseling, sa mga reproof, sa mga leaders ng simbahan. They want to do what they want. They are what we call self-opinionated. And these people are called indifferent. They will be shaken out from the ranks and file of the final remnant church. Ang karugtong po, the same page, 176, paragraph 3. In a little while, everyone who is child of God will have his seal placed upon him, or that it may be placed upon our foreheads. Who can endure the thought of being passed by the angels goes forth to seal the servants of God in their foreheads? Ito po'y magandang promise sa bawat isa sa atin. Hindi na magtagal, every child of God will receive the seal of the living God. Kailan po ba ito mangyari? Selected Messages, Book 1, 111. Before the work is closed up and the sealing of God's people is finished, we shall receive the outpouring of the Spirit of God. Ibig sabihin, una muna ang pagsisilyo, pagtatatak, pagkatapos ibuhos ang huling ulan ng banal na Espiritu Santo. Ayon po sa Maranatha 211, the living righteous will receive the seal of God prior to the close of probation. Ito na po ang huling trabaho ng Panginoong Hesus. Sealing, latter rain, a loud cry, at saka final gathering po sa 144,000. Ito na po ang pinakahuling trabaho. Ano po ang epekto kapag ang bayan ng Panginoon, the final remnant church, will receive the latter rain? Ayon po sa Great Controversy 612 paragraph 1, servants of God with their faces lighted up and shining with holy consecration will hasten from place to place to proclaim the message from heaven. By thousands of voices all over the earth, the warning will be given, miracles will be wrought, the sick will be healed, and signs and wonders will follow the believers. Satan also works with lying wonders, even bringing down fire from heaven in the sight of men. Thus, the inhabitants of the earth will be brought to take their stand. Kaya dito ay may dalawang puwersa na makikita during the loud cry. Una, ang bayan ng Panginoon, puno ng puwersa. They will proclaim the message with power. At there will be miracles and signs and wonders will follow. At the sick will be healed. At meron pang mga miracle that will happen during this time, wrought by the people of God. Pero si Satanas din ay gumagawa ng mas malaki pang milagro. Anong sinasabi dito? Even he will bring down fire from heaven. That's why the inhabitants of the earth will be tested, to whom they will accept the Sabbath or Sunday. Ano po mababasa natin sa Great Controversy 606? Thus, the message of the third angel will be proclaimed. Sino po mag-proclaim? The final remnant church. Those who receive the power of the latter rain. They will do the loud cry. As the time comes for it to be given with greatest power, ito na po ang loud cry. The Lord will work through humble instruments, leading the minds of those who consecrate themselves to His service. Dito po ang pamamaraan sa trabaho ng Panginoon ay totally different. Mga tao pong mga sincero, mga tao pong humilde, mga taong simple, walang pinag-aralan, hindi mga theologians. Pero, ano mangyari? They will grow forth with the power of the latter rain and proclaim the loud cry of the third angel. Ayon po sa Great Controversy 606, as the controversy extend into new fields and the minds of the people are called to God's downtrodden law, Satan is austere. The power attending the message will only madden those who oppose it. The clergy will put forth almost superhuman efforts to shut away the light, lest it should shine upon their flocks. Kaya po ngayon, anong gawin? Ang kaaway po, si Satanas, ay umiinit, magagalit. At saka ang poder po that will attend the power of the third angel of those people who receive the latter rain will madden and be opposed by these people who were moved by Satan. Pero hindi nila makaya. The clergy will put forth almost superhuman efforts. Yung mga pastor, mga pare, praile, sa iba't ibang mga simbahan, they will oppose the message. But the light will shine, but they cannot shut it up. Ano pong option gagawin nila? Sabi po sa Great Controversy 607, the church appeals to the strong arm of civil power, and in this work, Papists and Protestants unite. As the movement for Sunday enforcement becomes more bold and decided, the law will be invoked against commandment keepers. They will be threatened with fines and imprisonment, and some will be offered positions of influence and other rewards and advantages as inducement to renounce their faith. Kaya po, hindi na makaya sa mga clergy, mga pare, mga pastors, they will ask help from the civil power. And thus, Sunday law will be proclaimed. And magkakaroon na ng disbentaha ang mga santos. Now they cannot buy or sell. Now they will be fined. There will be imprisonment. And some will be offered some advantages, some inducement to renounce their faith. Ano pong sinasabi ng Great Controversy 450? In the issue of the contest, all Christendom will be divided into two great classes, those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, and those who worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. Although church and state will unite their power to compel all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark of the beast, yet the people of God will not receive it. Kaya, mangyari po mga kaibigan na ang mundo will be divided into two groups. One who keep the commandments of God, and the other who will oppose these people, and they will keep the commandments of men. At saka, they will impose a law na hindi makabili, hindi makapagbenta kapag walang numero, kapag walang marka, pag hindi nila matanggap ang marka sa halimaw na yan. Ano po ang marka sa halimaw? What is the mark of the beasts? Letter 31, 1898. John was called to behold a people distinct from those who worship the beast and his image by keeping the first day of the week. The observance of this day is the mark of the beast. Hindi pala totoo na yung marka sa halimaw ay isang chip na ilagay dito sa kamay. O kaya, ang marka po ng halimaw ay yung mga tawag? Barcode sa mga produkto. Ang tunay na marka ng halimaw ay keeping the first day of the week. Ayon po sa spiritual prophecy. Meron pang karagdagan na pruweba. Evangelism 234. The mark of the beast is the papal Sabbath. Bible Commentary 980, Volume 7. The test comes. It will be clearly shown what the mark of the beast is. It is the keeping of Sunday. Kaya itong dalawang talata will prove us na ang marka po sa halimaw ay pong pag-keep o yung punta po sa simbahan sa araw na Sunday. Pangilin po ng araw na linggo. At kailan po magiging marka sa bestya itong tinatawag na Sunday o first day of the week? Kailan po natin matanggap ang marka na ito? Evangelism 234. No one has yet received the mark of the beasts. Sunday keeping is not yet the mark of the beasts. and will not be until the decree goes forth causing men to worship the idol Sabbath. The time will come when this day will be the test, but the time has not yet come. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ngayon, na wala pang Sunday law, ay hindi pa ito marka. Pero pag ma-proclaim na po ang Sunday law, anong mangyari? It will be now the mark of the beast. Now, what will happen to the people of God who professed faith under the third angel's message? Ibig sabihin po, ano po ang mangyari sa Seventh-day Adventist denomination when Sunday law will come? Nalaman natin kanina na may advanced separation. Kasi ayaw na nila gawin yung trabaho nila, others will raise up. Yung mga others na yan ay tinatawag na mga tao that will carry the banner, that will carry the ark. At sila po ang gumagawa ng Great Reformatory Movement. Sila po ang i-purify ng Panginoon. Sa kanilang kagitnaan, ma-shaken out yung indifferent at saka careless. Hanggang sila po ay makatanggap ng lateran to proclaim the loud cry. What about the bigger part of those who keep the faith of the third angel's message? Ano po mangyari sa kanila? Great Controversy 608. Bago natin basahin mga kapatid, let us take note, kung majority po ang mag-control sa simbahan, they will carry the organization. What about the minority? They will be kicked out. So dito, mababasa natin, Great Controversy 608, as the storm approaches, a large class who have professed faith in the third angel's message, but have not been sanctified through obedience to the truth, abandon their position and join the ranks of the opposition. By uniting with the world and partaking of His Spirit, they have come to view matters in nearly the same light, and when the test is brought, they are prepared to choose the easy, popular side. Kaya mangyari, doon po sa Sunday law, majority of the Seventh Adventist Church were not sanctified through obedience to the truth. They will abandon their position as Sabbath keepers, and they will now join together with the Protestant and even with the fallen churches. At ano po mangyari? By uniting with the world now, today, by partaking of their spirit, by joining with ecumenism, by practicing worldly practices, they have come to view matters in nearly the same light. Sabi pa nila, pareho-pareho lang tayo. But when the test is brought, kailan yung test? Panahon po ng Sunday law. Ngayon po, wala pang Sunday law. Kaibigan na yung mga fallen churches. Membro na po ang Seventh-day Adventist Church sa ecumenism. How much more in the time of Sunday law? They are prepared to choose the easy, popular side. What about yung mga honest inside? What will happen to them? Early Writings 260. I saw that God has honest children among the nominal Adventists. Anong ibig sabihin ng nominal Adventist? Is it referring back to 1844? No way. It is talking about the time reckoning before the plague shall be poured out. These nominal Adventists are Seventh Adventists in the name only, but having no zeal. Pangalan na lang Adventista, pero hindi gumagawa, hindi sumusunod sa original na doktrina ng Seventh-day Adventist. Pero may mga honest doon. Kasi majority ay sumasama na po sa mundo during Sunday law, pero yung mga honest, pati pa yung mga ministro ng mga honest, mga membro ng mga honest, together with the fallen churches who are honest right there, will gladly receive the truth and will come out and join with the remnant. Kung ang Seventh-day Adventist po ang remnant church, bakit yung mga honest people doon will join with the remnant? Ibig sabihin, to conclude, na ang final remnant church, hindi pala ang Seventh-day Adventist. Sino yung remnant church pala? Let us read. Conflict and Courage 269. Bear in mind na ang mga honest Adventists and honest ministers will come out and join with the remnant. Sino yung remnant people of God? God's remnant people standing before the world as reformers are to show that the law of God is the foundation of all enduring reform, and that the Sabbath of the fourth commandment is to stand as a memorial of creation, a constant reminder of the power of God. In clear, distinct lines, they are to present the necessity of obedience to all the precepts of the Decalogue. Constrained by the love of Christ, they are to cooperate with Him in building up the waste places. They are to be repairers of the breach, restorers of the past to dwell in. It is really against the common presentation of many Seventh-day Adventist pastors na karamihan daw sa mga reformista ay sapilitan. They are imposing, the Seventh-day Adventist Reform Movement are imposing upon their members to do the work of reform. Pero mali pala. Nababasa natin dito na ang remnant church, yung mga reformador, ang remnant church po ng Panginoon ay mga reformador. Pero paano po sila gumagawa? Sabi dito, constrained by the love of Christ, they are to cooperate with Him in building up the waste places. Ang tunay po ng mga reformador ay hindi napilitan, hindi na puwersa, kundi they are moved by the spirit of love of Christ in their hearts. And they will do the work of reformation, the work of restoring the waste places by willingness, by love from Jesus Christ. Saan po nailista o naisulat ang pangalan ng mga reformador? Review and Herald, October 13, 1891. Here are given the characteristics of those who shall be reformers, who will bear the banner of the third angel's message. Sino na ngayon ang magproklamar sa third angel's message? Sabadista pa? Hindi na. Sino po? Ang mga reformador. Who is it that calls them the repairers of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in? Sino po? Who call them as reformers? It is God, ang Panginoon po. At saan po na rehistro ang pangalan nila? Their names are registered in heaven as reformers, restorers, as raising the foundations of many generations. Ngayon po, nang maiproclaim na ang loud cry, the world will be what? Evangelized. Kaya po, ang mangyari dito, ang the last portion po sa evangelism ay papunta na po sa buong sanglibutan. Pag magkakaroon na po ng loud cry at matalas din ang panindigan sa mga tao na nag-worship po ng first day of the week. Kaya lahat ng mga tao will be divided and will take their stand to whom they want to serve. At ano po mangyari? But Christians of past generations observe the Sunday, supposing that in so doing, they were keeping the Bible Sabbath. And there are now true Christians in every church, not accepting the Roman Catholic Communion, who honestly believe that Sunday is the Sabbath of divine appointment. God accepts their sincerity of purpose and their integrity before Him. Ibig sabihin, sa bawat simbahan ngayon ay may mga tao na honest. Even they are keeping Sunday, still the Lord will accept them. Depende po sa kanila pong sinseridad ng kanilang puso. Because that was the light they received. The Lord will judge according to the light you received. Hindi nakatanggap, hindi nakarinig po ng pabalita about Sabbath. So anong gawin ng Panginoon? God will accept their sincerities of purpose. If they will die, of course, they will be saved. But anong grupo? They will go to the great multitude. Kasi po, ang liwanag nila ay hindi third angel's message. Pero kailan lang po magkakaroon ng pagsasara sa choice po, either Sunday or Sabbath day. But when Sunday observance shall be enforced by the law, and the world shall be enlightened concerning the obligation of the true Sabbath, then whosoever shall transgress the command of the Lord to obey a precept which has no higher authority than that of Rome, will thereby honor papyri above God, and he is paying homage to Rome. Anong ibig sabihin dito? Pag i-proclaim na po yung Sunday law, at yung mga tao, mamimili na sila kung saan po sila susunod. Kung sila magpatuloy sa pagpangilin ng araw ng linggo, they will honor the Pope above God. And thereby, they will receive the mark of the beast. Pero, pagtanggapin nila po ang Sabbath, they will come out from that fallen churches and they will join where? They will join with the remnant. And automatically, they will be sealed and be part of the 144,000. Great Controversy 605, paragraph 1. But not one is made to suffer the wrath of God until the truth has been brought home to his mind and conscience and has been rejected. There are many who had never had opportunity to hear the special truths for this time. The obligation of the fourth commandment has never been set before them in its true light. Ibig sabihin, maraming mga tao ngayon, even 2020, May 20, marami pang hindi nakarinig about the Sabbath. At walang special light para sa kanila about the Sabbath. Pag sila po ay mamatay, paano po sila husgahan ng Panginoon? Of course, they will be judged according to the light they receive. But they will not go to the 144,000. They will be accepted, they will be saved, but they died, right? They will go to the great multitude and will be resurrected when Jesus will come. Great Controversy 605, he who reads every heart and tries every motive will leave none who desire a knowledge of truth to be deceived as to the issue of the controversy. The decree is not to be urged upon the people blindly. Everyone is to have sufficient light to make his decision intelligently. Ibig sabihin, walang isang tao na makatanggap ng 7 salot without full knowledge of the truth. The Lord will not give the decree or punish the people blindly. Dapat ang bawat isa will understand correctly and choose his own way. Kaya hindi mamimilit ang Panginoon, tama yan. Pero ang tao ay mamili either for life or for eternal death. Ngayon po, punta na tayo sa close of probation. When the third angel's message closes, mercy no longer pleads for the guilty inhabitants of the earth. The people of God have accomplished their work. They have received the latter rain. They are refreshing from the presence of the Lord. And they are prepared for the trying hour before them. Ang talatang ito ay isang summary po sa future events. Unang-una, sabi dito, when the third angel's message closes, ano po mangyari? Ang bayan ng Panginoon, the final remnant church, accomplish their work. What is that? Loud cry. Sila po ay nakatanggap na po ng latter rain, the repressing from the presence of the Lord. At ngayon, they are prepared for the trying hour before them. What is the trying hour? It is na po ang 7 last plagues. Great Controversy 613, paragraph 2. Then Jesus ceases his intercession in the sanctuary above. He lifts his hands and with a loud voice say, "It is done." And all the angelic hosts lay off their crowns as he makes the solemn announcement, "He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still." Ito na po ang katapusan na trabaho ng Panginoong Hesus. When He will shout, "It is done," His work in the most holy place is finished. At ang karakter ng lahat ng mga tao will be fixed. If He is unjust, He should remain unjust. Pag siya po'y filthy, He should remain filthy. Pag siya po'y righteous, manatiling righteous. Pag holy, He will never be moved anymore. Manatili siya pong santos. Anong gawain? Ano po mangyari dito po sa katapusan when the door of mercy will be closed? Great Controversy 613. Great Controversy 613, paragraph 2, let us read. Every case has been decided for life or for death. Christ had made the atonement for His people and blotted out their sins. The number of His subject is made up. Kita mo na mga kaibigan? So, ang 144,000 ay definite talaga. It is a literal number. Why? Because the number of His subjects, what is subjects na yan? Ang 144,000. Tapos na. The kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven is about to be given to the heirs of salvation. And Jesus is to reign as King of kings and Lord of lords. Anong gawin sa tao na may damit na maputi, white linen, at saka meron siyang writer's inkhorn by his side? Anong gawin niya pag matapos na yung trabaho sa pagsisilyo? Early Writings 280. Alam po natin na ang pinaka nangunguna sa trabaho po ng pagsisilyo ay si Panginoong Hesus. At ang supervisor dito sa trabaho ng pagtatatak ay yung man with writer's inkhorn, isang mightiest of the angel. Ano pong sabi dito? I saw angels hurrying to and fro in heaven. An angel with a writer's inkhorn by his side returned from the earth and reported to Jesus that his work was done and the saints were numbered and sealed. Then I saw Jesus, who had been ministering before the ark containing the 10 commandments, throw down the censer and raise his hands and with a loud voice and said, "It is done." Dito po matapos ang trabaho po sa pagsisilyo. Ito po ang ating pag-asa, mga kaibigan, na tayo po ay parte po ng 144,000. May the Lord bless you and give you encouragement to be among the 144,000. Let us strive with all our power to be part of it. This is my wish and prayer. Amen.